Two. What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to tonight's late night agenda. Probably the last late night agenda. Actually, it is the last late night agenda before the transfer window shuts to a close at 11 p.m. tomorrow night. I will, of course, be here tomorrow to take you through transfer deadline day evening. Again, I do apologise for being late, but it's just YouTube fuckery that's causing us to be late because I pressed go live. It didn't go live. We had to reset the stream, turn on auto start disabled, and make 2 clicks and go again. So yeah, I'm never late, but it's always YouTube that makes me late. Promise you. I promise you. I was here in good time today, sir. I was in good time, but you know, YouTube does what YouTube likes to do, which is wind me up. And yeah, it always sets me off to an annoying start when I've, 30 seconds into an opening monologue spiel, you look down and you're not live. But hey, that is the breaks, isn't it? How are we, ladies and gentlemen? Lovely to see you all tonight. And again, people heard of Aziz. For all the people, let me just put this one to bed immediately. Aziz picked up an injury, the Reading player. So, he won't be able to go through a medical or anything. So we can quickly just throw that one in the bin because it was being touched on last night by a few people. And I wanted to make sure it was the same guy that did pick up the knock before we started to really delve into it. So yeah, look, he did pick up a knock. I think it's a muscle tear or something. I'm not sure how long he's going to be kept out for, that young man. But his name was being tentatively linked to Liverpool. But that guy has done a muscle injury or something. So yeah, won't be happening. So another one we can put to bed there, ladies and gentlemen. United fan, and you're a legend, Craig. Kenny, you're a gent. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Much love, man. Knobhead. Noobhead? Noobhead? I don't know what noobhead is, dude, but you be you, man. You be you. If you were calling me a knobhead, you spelled that wrong as well. But I was thinking maybe you were calling somebody a newbie, like somebody new in the chat. But I don't know. How long is Bobby out for? I don't know yet, mate. No news on that one. Again, look, I don't want to tell you to be not worried about the Bobby Firmino scenario, but we don't know as of yet. They haven't given the scan results out, and we are going into an international break, which of course our players won't be heading away for if they're on any of the red zone listed countries. Unlike, I believe, some of the Argentinian players who have gone against their club's wishes, I believe, and gone to join up with their international colleagues, which is a bit of a kick in the nuts to the clubs, to be fair. I've seen I think it was a few Spurs players on their plane on the way over. Right, folks, what do we want to start talking about tonight? Because let's be honest, it's getting to squeaky bum time now where any hopes that we have, is it fair to say they're starting to fade away? We'll go through the Michael Edwards story, of course, and we'll talk about that. Love, Craig, any plans on coming to Anfield? Like everybody else, mate, I'm just trying to figure out a way to get a ticket. I have a couple of mates who live that side of the pond, shall we say, over in the UK, and as soon as I can get tickets organised, I'll be straight over. It's the only reason I don't go to Anfield more often is I refuse anymore to pay tout prices or to pay travel agents ridiculous prices for tickets or pay for corporate hospitality. So if I can get some tickets sorted, dude, I promise you I'll be over there straight away. I was waiting on word even for the Chelsea game right up until the last minute. I had flights ready to go just in case, and it's just a matter of getting tickets, man. And like most people, I'm in the same boat. It's very difficult to do unless you want to pay over the odds, and I've done that for too many years where I just refuse to do it anymore. Craig, who do I think will sign? Whoa, Scotty, you're very optimistic there, dude. You're assuming we're going to make a signing, of which, of course, I hope that we do. Mate, look, at this point, any name that I'm going to give you, or any name that anyone else is going to give you, is nothing but guesswork, because there's nothing publicly that we're aware of. There's been no journalists that I'm aware of that are what I would class as credible that have linked us to anybody. So unless we're going to pull off I don't want to say a Hail Mary pass, but something very dramatic, it's looking like a frustrated window again. And you know what? I don't want to... I'm going to save my scorn until tomorrow because there is still time, and we've seen before mad stuff can happen in 24 hours of a window, but we are left in the situation again where we're probably hoping, aren't we? We're sitting here hoping rather than expecting, and that's the frustrating thing. That's the really, really worrying thing. And as somebody else said in the chat there, it is really difficult to get tickets. It is, Will, and I'm the same as everyone else, mate. I've got no inside track on tickets, man. I scramble like everybody else to try and get them. What have we got? Owen Evans is just showing us basically what we spoke about last night. The tweet from Fabrizio Romano said that Liverpool will only buy in the case of real bargains. Daniel Malin, 25 million to PSG, you're an embarrassment. Or to BBE, excuse me, Dortmund. Head's gone to Dortmund. Right, let me just touch on your super chat there, mate. And because it annoyed me as well, buddy, when I read it, because it says Liverpool will do business if there are real bargains, or will only do business if there are real bargains. So what we can take from that is that there's money. Yeah, we all agree from that there's money there. If they're willing to spend on bargains, then apparently we've got money. It's either a case of we've got it or we haven't got it. But yet again, the spin is coming onto this, isn't it? Where it's only if real bargains come up. It's the last 24 hours of the fucking transfer window. And what do we wake up to today? Do we wake up to some good news? Contract renewals? Something positive around the club? No. We wake up to the news that Michael Edwards may very well be leaving at the end of the season. That's the news that we got today as Liverpool fans. Other clubs woke up. West Ham fans have gone after Tagliafico. Looks like they're going to get him. Good news for some Leeds fans as well. They're off after a couple of players. United still looking to bring in a CDM. And what are we doing as Liverpool fans? Well, we wake up to the news that Michael Edwards probably going to leave at the end of the season, although there is a chance they could negotiate an extension with him, and that we're still hoping to move on up to 6 players before the window closes. Absolutely zero focus or credibility towards anybody coming in. And how the fuck, by the way, can we just take a second to try and comprehend? Any United fans out there, please help me. How are you getting 30 million quid for Dan James? I mean, how? You know, as Goldbridge said, remember on beep beep? That's like, how are Leeds going to pay £30 million for Dan James? And yet we're scratching around like, I don't know, students living in pot noodles. Do you know what I mean? It's madness. Evan Power, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, dude. Gutted if the Edwards rumour is true. It's not a rumour, mate. His contract at the club, or his work contract is the phrase, isn't it? It is an employment contract. Only runs to the end of this season, and as per The Athletic, it looks like he has told the club of his wishes to move on. Now, we do have somebody in place that has been working alongside Michael Edwards that will probably slip into the role, but, you know, we've given Michael Edwards, and rightly so, a lot of praise for the good work that he's done while he has been at the helm of transfers at Liverpool. And like, Michael Edwards started out in a playing career, I believe, at Peterborough. Then he got his first chance at Portsmouth under Harry Redknapp. And, you know, his career has progressed, culminating in obviously the fantastic deals that he's done at Liverpool under FSG's ownership. And, you know, one of the things that we've always spoken highly of him about was his ability to get really high transfer fees for some of the players that we've moved on. It's not a lot, but use this money to buy some tickets. Would love to see a match day vlog. Dude, I would love to give you a match day vlog. Trust me. I've got a couple of mates who do live relatively close, and one of their I don't want to give away too much, but an employee of Liverpool is married to a sister. So basically, I'm hoping upon hope that, you know, something can be sorted out for a game or two. Owen Evans, how are you, man? FSG bought Liverpool for £300 million. They injected no new equity and used the club's own commercial revenues to fund growth. It's now worth closer to £2.5 billion with no debt, but we have to sell to buy. Owen, man, you know what I mean? I can't disagree with you. I don't want to disagree with you, fella. And I don't want to be on here talking about negatives, but yeah, here we are, my man. It's one, thank you for the super chat, dude. You're very kind. And look, there was something on Twitter today that I want to talk about, and I want to just read through, because I wish I could give credit to who did it, because Connor sent it to me as just an image, so I don't know where it originated from. But if anybody does, feel free to shout this person out in the chat, because they deserve to. But before that, I've one more super chat to get to. What have we got here? Zwan and Soman, how are you, my friend? Said FSG is a disgrace, absolutely sucking the life out of fans. Such a shame that a golden era will not be replaced properly because we have stingy owners. And Richard Badger said, sneaky feeling will go for Traore if Divock leaves. This is where I shit in your cornflakes, I'm afraid, dude. The latest that I'm reading on Traore is that he has instructed George Mendes to try and get him a move to Spurs, who are in for him, and Wolves are already looking to line up a replacement for Traore at half the fee that they're looking to get for him to send him to Wolves. So as per what I've read very, very recently from I can't remember which respectable journalist it was, but somebody had posted that Adama Traore could be heading to Wolves for around €40 million, £35 million, something like that, and he has instructed George Mendes to try and smooth the move over and make it happen, because obviously George Mendes is very powerful at Wolves in particular. A lot of Portuguese players there. Obviously, Adam is Spanish, but you get what I'm saying. He's a lot of sway at the club. Craig is Sexy said, I'm back. How are you, Craig is Sexy? It's nice to have you back, Craig is Sexy. Craig is Sexy is saying, I'm back. Right, Craig is Sexy. Right, thanks, Craig is Sexy. Craig smells lovely. Welcome to Anfield Agenda FC. Jesus, there's a lot of Craig is everything here today, isn't there? Right, let me go to that thing I was telling you about anyway. That image that was posted on Twitter, which please do feel free to give the person the credit if you know who it is, because I only wish I could. But where is this image gone? No, me, my dumb. Oh, here we go. Right, so Liverpool reporters since May. So this is basically what we've been fed by the mainstream media since May. And you can work this out for yourself. I think it'll become fairly apparent as it goes along where this is going. So May, Redbird investment expected to cover all the losses during the COVID pandemic. June, COVID has impacted Liverpool's transfer plans. July, Liverpool want a midfielder and at least one forward. Later in July, Bowen is just one of the forwards on Liverpool's attacker shortlist. July again, Liverpool need to sell to buy. August, club sells players. Liverpool need to sell players who are not homegrown to free a spot in the squad. August, the club sells Shaqiri. Liverpool don't want a midfielder. August again, Liverpool don't want a forward. August, Michael Edwards is leaving. That's been the up and down nature of the bullshit that we've been fed throughout this transfer window. Hope, 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 less hope, no hope, fucking Bob Hope. That's the way it's been. And that's all just stuff pulled from the media. This isn't stuff I've been saying or whatever. We've been all briefed the same thing. Going into this transfer window, the ideal scenario for the club was an attacking player, that was the priority, and a midfielder if time, money and squad space allowed. We haven't done any of that. We've just covered the space that we left from last season with Ibrahim Kanade, and we've in fact, at this moment in time, made money in the window. And look, everybody wants their clubs to do well and make money, but what's the point if you're not going to back the manager? What's the point in having this once-in-a-lifetime man at the club? I just feel like I'm going over the same thing every day and we're all banging our heads against the wall. And look, I've had a few, I won't say run-ins with people on Twitter because, you know, I want to be respectful to these people on Twitter because they deserve it. But, you know, people are trying to say to me, all right, you know, the window hasn't closed yet. And I'm saying, fair enough, but in all honesty, do you have belief? Like, do you believe that there's something working on it? And why would it be this late if we're working? Like, I'm all for trying to pull a club's pants down and get a cheap deal. I mean, if that happens between now and 11 p.m. tomorrow, I'll tell you what, I'll be on here singing songs and we'll all be happy and we'll have a bit of fun if we pulled off a masterstroke. But let's be honest with ourselves here. Is there many of us really who believe that this is about to happen? Because we still know the club want to try and move on 6 players. So unless there's somebody on I'll just add into that a little bit more. As somebody very rightly pointed out in our chat yesterday as well, a lot of these dudes now are off on international duty. So, you know, the odds of the club getting them to do a medical while they're meeting up with their international team becomes more and more tricky. Not impossible, but more tricky. It's going to rock around, we walk around, we rock around, it's tricky. Sorry, just came into my head. Tricky, 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 tricky. I'm giving up transfers, said V. What about Valverde? That was poo-poo of the highest order, Charlie, mate. That was, I think it was like Bernabeu Central or something like that. It was. I spoke about this yesterday at length. It's propaganda from Madrid, mate. That basically Florentino Perez is putting out there to say Liverpool made an approach for €100 million Valverde, and we rebuffed them because we are the big strong Real Madrid, and I am the man Florentino Perez at the helm of this ship. It's just propaganda, mate, to make them look strong and us look weak. That's all it is. There was never any truth to it. Do you honestly think we have €100 million sitting around there to just throw at Valverde? I mean, if that's the case, we'd have played one hell of a game of brinksmanship here, wouldn't we? Yeah. One football says Valverde. Well, Craig says no. So, yeah, there you go. It's that's where we are right now. Do you know what I mean? I mean, look, Valverde, Uruguayan international, doing well at Madrid. But look, does any of us believe that Liverpool have €100 million that we've been eagerly sitting there until the very last day of the transfer window just to try and get Madrid on the cheap and get Valverde? Either somebody is pulling an absolute blinder here, or again, like I said yesterday, it's complete and utter horseshit. And I'll stand over the horseshit part. What's that smell? It's lovely. I don't know, mate, but it couldn't be me. Thank you for the super chat, Craig. Craig smells lovely. Phil said, "Hey, Craig. Hope you're doing fine. Keep it up." Thank you, mate. Do you know what? I'm in good form. You know, I'm life's good at the minute. Another what's that smell from Craig smells lovely. Thank you, dude, for the super chat. I'm actually in not too bad a form, to be honest with you, mate. I wasn't expecting to wake up today to the news that Michael Edwards could be leaving the club. That was a bit of a shocker, I have to say. And look, we know that we have been linked with Damsgaard as well. I can see a couple of people mention Addison in the chat there talking about Damsgaard. And again, could possibly happen. I don't know. There are still 25 hours and 55 minutes to go in this transfer window. And I'm going to be on here tomorrow from whatever time my ass wakes up at, so probably late evening. And I'll take you right through. I might do a 5-6 hour run on here tomorrow. Take you right through. You look handsome, mate. Why am I getting compliments today? This is weird. I'm not used to this. This is unnerving. Is Jeremy Beadle around here or something? I'm used to being called a bald twat and all, not getting compliments, mate. Jesus. Maybe it's because I got a tiny bit of sun on my face yesterday and I don't look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, or a bit less Uncle Festery. Milner to MLS. Galaxy continue the MLS bond. I don't think James Milner, he doesn't strike me as an LA type of dude. You know what I mean? He's more of a you know, Yorkshire steel kind of man. I don't know. James Milner's going nowhere anyway. What about Alexander Isak? From my knowledge, mate, he extended his contract with Real Sociedad after the Euros, and he had a 75 million euro buyout clause in his contract before the Euros. And as I was saying before, I can only imagine that transfer fee will have gone up, or the buyout clause will have gone up. And again, I've not seen anything around it. Again, but look, let's be honest, I've not seen anything around anything lately, and nor have any of us. Let's be honest, Chris. We ain't gonna sign anyone. Chris, be honest with yourself, Chris. We're fucking signing nobody here. Chris agrees with you, mate. Now, I, as Craig, can't back up what Chris has just said, but Chris agrees with you, mate. Love the content, Craig. Hope you're doing well. I am doing well, dude. I mean, I'm loving life at the minute. I'm looking forward to a bit of downtime over the international break. Would you sign Ollie Watkins? You know what, Ethan? It's like you're reading my mind, mate. I was lying in bed, I say last night. It was pretty much early morning. I was lying in bed and I was thinking to myself, I was trying to play over any possible permutations. And we knew that there was some interest, or so rumoured to be some interest in Curtis Jones from Aston Villa, which has since been, I believe, put to bed by those who are genuinely in the know. But I was thinking to myself, right, what could the play be here? If there was a play, because I couldn't come up with any justifiable reason why Liverpool would look to sell Curtis Jones. I just couldn't. The only thing I could think of was that Villa really wanted somebody who they think is an obvious talent, which he is. The lad is a huge talent. And then I was thinking the only way maybe that we could even partially entertain that would be if we were looking to bring in Ollie Watkins. And even at that, I struggled to convince myself of that play last night, mate. So I would have Ollie Watkins 100%. I think, you know, when we spoke with Darren McAnthony, the Peterborough chairman before, who was also a Liverpool fan, you know, this was a year ago probably, or at least the guts of a year ago. And even then, just after Villa had signed Watkins, he was saying, should have signed Ollie Watkins. And, you know, since I've watched him at Aston Villa, seen his work rate, seen what he brings to that Villa team, I would say, yes, he would fit in very well at Liverpool and I would have no issues with him. But unfortunately, mate, you know, I don't see it happening to you, if we're being real here. What do I think of Jake Paul? I didn't watch the fight in the end last night. I couldn't bring myself to spend the money on it, to be honest. I did follow on Twitter. I followed a thread from people who were, you know, commentating on the fight. Won a split decision draw. Look, it looks like it'll fight Tommy Fury next. You know, I don't really have much else to say about it, to be honest with you. Looking good, Chris said, not Tom. Thank you. Chris appreciates what you've said. I will pass it on to him. My favourite dude, I'm blue, da ba dee da ba die, is in the chat again. How are you, man? So Damsgaard is a quality player with a lot of potential. Love the content, Craig. Thank you. See, you call it content. I call it waffle. just me coming on and having a chat. But, you know, if we can disguise it as content, why not? We'll have a bit of fun. Veghorst, he is a Liverpool fan. Well, I'm a Liverpool fan, mate. Should we sign me? Sorry, I'm only joking with you. I've not heard that of it, mate, no. And thank you for the super chat, GMTR15. I hope life's treating you well, my man. Suarez news, there isn't any. I was saying this yesterday. The Suarez stuff, I don't know where it originated from. I really don't. It seemed to be everywhere yesterday for a very short period of time. But, you know, I've said to you before, I do have contacts in Spain. Spain and Germany are probably the two countries I'm best placed to reach out to people in if I try to find information. And I had this Suarez conversation with somebody, I want to say at least 6 weeks ago. And I was told that he was staying at Madrid. Himself, Luis Suarez, said that he feels the love at Madrid and he's going to stay there. So, and also, have you watched them? Like, he was never reliant on pace, but he slowed down even more so. And, you know, he'd be a good option. Don't get me wrong. I mean, last 20 from the bench if you're looking to change something, but I don't think he'd be somebody who would really be pushing the front three week in and week out because, you know, Father Time waits for no man. And, you know, Luis Suarez is a mere mortal like the rest of us. Will Anfield agenda give Ronaldo a warm welcome when he plays against you at Anfield? Maybe a round of applause if he scores. Well, no. No, I'm only joking. Look, I remember they did it when he played for Real Madrid. He was given a round of applause because he was the best player on the park. And if one thing you will always associate with Scousers and Liverpool fans is we do respect good ballers. And Cristiano Ronaldo along with Lionel Messi are obviously the two greatest players of our generation. Now, can I tell you what's going to happen when he shows up at Anfield? What I imagine is probably going to be a fairly raucous atmosphere because we'll want to win the game on the day. And Liverpool fans, it's battle. Do you know what I mean? It's the heat of the battle. But underneath it all, you know, for any Liverpool fan, myself included, to say anything other than he is an icon of the sport and that I'm happy that Manchester City didn't get what they wanted. Other than that, you know, enjoy the moment. I don't begrudge United fans. I begrudge you every point on the pitch. Every single goal and point on the pitch, I begrudge you. Of course I do. I'm a Liverpool fan and I know it's the other way around. But as I keep saying, I remember what it was like when Robbie Fowler came back to Liverpool under Benitez, and I wouldn't begrudge that happiness to anybody else. But I will begrudge you every single goddamn point in the season. Someone said, Craig, I missed the super chat. I don't think I did. I think I went through them all. There was a new membership come in though. Owen Evans, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC. Now, if you want to become a member, ladies and gentlemen, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button. Or not hit the subscribe button. All you have to do is hit the join button or look at the link in the description. It is $4.99. Actually, I did miss a super chat. You are right. I owe you an extreme apology, sir. The rat who plays Danganronpa? Danganronpa? The rat who plays Danganronpa. Sorry, mate. I did miss your super chat and I apologise. Greetings from Florida. You forgot the handsome Gru. Yes, that's another one that can also work, mate. Yeah. My son still calls me Gru at times. So, yeah, apologies. I missed that earlier, mate. I do apologise. I shouldn't have missed that one. Right. Let's get some more of your comments. Do you think we're signing anyone this summer? Well, we signed Bobby Clark as a youngster and we signed Ibrahima Konate. And look, at this late stage, there can only be a few possible scenarios. Scenario A, we're not signing anyone. Scenario B, we are pulling off some masterclass of holding off in some game of, you know, who blinks first poker between Liverpool and some other club, and yeah, it hasn't been leaked anywhere, so even the selling club, who would probably be in their interest to leak it to try and, you know, get a few more quid, nothing has happened. Or C, we just sell some players tomorrow and we're all sitting here at 11 o'clock looking at a quiet Kirby. Yeah, I don't know what to say to you. Where's somebody saying, in your honest opinion, do I think we'll sign someone? My honest opinion, hand on heart, is I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, my gut feeling says it's getting very late. And I can't see any reason for it to get this late. Like, yeah, you leave things to late in the window at times, but if you have it, like, the way we work, we're very unreactionary in transfers, unless last January was a bit of an anomaly in the way that we do business, because very rarely are we scrapping around that late. And all I can think of last January is that even as stingy as FSG are, they had to give Klopp some form of defenders, or else quite literally anything could have happened. Now, even at that, even at just handing them the bare bleeding minimum, you know, Ben Davies and Ozan Kabak on loan, who, by the way, Ozan Kabak is now on a season-long loan at Norwich, wishing him all the best there, of course. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like... I can understand the next summer stuff. I can understand the sensibility behind it, but I just don't believe it, unfortunately. And that's me. That's just my own opinion. I'm not telling anybody else to be angry or what to say, but I just feel like we've been here before with the next summer stuff, and there will always be an excuse or a reason or some PR spin or something that pops up between now and then. And also, if I'm being really honest with you, I think that the reason we're hearing about next summer is because what I've said all summer. We'll probably sell one of the front three, and, you know, we'll rinse and repeat this sell to buy system that we have in place. And some people believe the sell to buy system that is keeping us sustainable is a good model, and some people think that we've nothing to complain about. Other people are, you know, irate and think that we should be looking to keep up with Manchester United, City, Chelsea, and, you know, spending money, and if it needs going into debt to get that money, then so be it. Or if it means going into the money from the Red Ball acquisition, then so be it. I am somewhere in the middle. I can kind of see a bit of both sides, to be honest with you. But what I can't understand or accept is just this. Why not give the best manager in the world, and I do believe Jurgen Klopp is the best manager in the world, in my humble opinion, at least the best manager we've had at this football club in a very long time. If you're not going to back him in a summer where there are bargains and there are clear squad deficiencies that we've had pointed out to us. We've lost players, but we thought we were losing those players to free up space in the squad. That's what was being spun in the media. So, you know, I don't want to go two-footed yet, because it's not tomorrow. It's not 11 p.m. You know, the fireworks for me will come when that bell tolls to 11 p.m. tomorrow night and the transfer deadline window slams shut. Then, if we're in this position and we haven't added in that forward and we haven't replaced Gini Wijnaldum, it's just, they might as well just say we've got fuck all ambition at this point and we're treading water. Because that's how I feel. Do you know what I mean? That's just me, though. And I know that I'm not wired the same as other people. Sometimes I'm a bit over the top in reactions. Thoughts on who? I don't know who the fuck that is, mate. Sorry. I don't work off initials. I think he's a perfect signing. If we're talking about, like, I don't know who that is. Oh, Alan Saint-Maximin. Sorry, yeah. Okay, now I figured it out. Look, would Newcastle want to lose their superstar, their talisman at this point when, you know, they're probably already worrying about fighting relegation this season because, you know, there isn't much investment there at Newcastle. Steve Bruce is, you know, he's done a good job, to be honest, to keep them up last season, and Mike Ashley's still actively looking to sell the club. I think Newcastle as a sellable asset becomes much less sellable if some maximum isn't there and they're looking like more likely they're heading for relegation. So, again, unfortunately, I doubt it. Buy Fred, you can probably get him at a discount now. No, I would genuinely rather have no signings than signing Fred, mate. I'm not even joking. Up to 118,000 already. AA grown all the time, said Gethin Hughes. Only because of your amazing support, guys, and that's the only reason why. If you do enjoy our streams, please do hit the subscribe button, drop a like on the video as well. Dan James to Leeds, Rafinha to Liverpool. Mate, don't tease me with that shit, because honestly, Brian, you know, if let's say what Brian Webber said there came through, and Leeds bought Dan James for 30 million, and Liverpool went in and bought Rafinha. You know what, mate? I'd be pretty happy. I won't lie to you. I would think that it was my only worry would be if they're paying 30 million for Dan James, what on earth would we have to pay for Rafinha? Do you know what I mean? Because I think it's fair to say Dan James has a lot of potential, but hasn't realised all of his potential outside of course, that devastating speed that he has. Unbelievable from the board. They think Klopp's going to bail them out as always. Dark times ahead after Klopp leaves in 2 years. Rudy, mate, I am right with you on that one. See, that's, I think, what a lot of us don't understand. You would think, and look, we're only mere fans, you know what I mean? We're just Joe Ordinaries and Joanna Ordinaries because, you know, we don't know the day-to-day running of a football club. We're not accountants, we're not fucking PR gurus, but nor should we have to be. We're football fans, and our job is to ask the board, the players and the manager to do the best that they can with the tools that they have at their disposal. And a lot of them have done that, except for the fucking board. And do you know what? Sorry, dude, I'm loving what you've said there, Brian, because, not Brian, who was it? Who am I giving this credit to again? Where are you gone, dude? The chat's moving, I'm trying to find where it was. Rudy, my man. Yeah, sorry, man. I got distracted. I seen a huge super chat come in and I got distracted. So let me concentrate on that one. Yeah, you're right, man. Like the manager last season and the players pulled a rabbit out of a hat. How they got us Champions League football, I do not fucking know, my friend. By the grace of God and Alison Becker's beautiful head, we got Champions League football. And that should have been it, man. That's exactly what you've said, Rudy. That should have been the slap around the chops that our owners needed to realise that investment is needed. Because if you cannot take any chances, this is one hell of a competitive league. And we've seen how lucky we were. And if nearly missing out on the Champions League because of not replacing a player that we moved on in a position we thought we were covered in, if that doesn't tell them that not replacing Gini Wijnaldum's minutes or telling us that Harvey Elliott is going to replace them, of which I'm sound about, by the way, then where's the forward? Because we're still light in the forward department. So you can't have it both ways. You can't look at us and tell us that Harvey Elliott is going to be Gini Wijnaldum's replacement and then just forget about the forward position. We either accept that he's going to be the midfielder, in which case we're all happy, but we still need a forward. Or Harvey Elliott is that attacking option and we still get back to the conversation around midfield. Either way, I think we're being extremely fucking generous by only pushing and arguing about one of those two positions. Because quite honestly, we should be looking for both. Now, there was a massive super chat that came in. Hi, Craig. I mean, I was expecting a big long paragraph there, dude, because you deserve it. I mean, Owen Evans, that's the biggest super chat we've ever had. By a country mile. I don't even know what to say to you, mate. Except drinks are on me. If we ever meet. If I ever have the fortune to meet and say thank you, mate. That is... Wow. Jesus, mate, that... I don't know what to say to you, man. That's just unbelievably generous. And thank you. I don't know what we've done to deserve it, dude, but you know, my sincere thanks. I feel like I should almost dedicate this stream to you, mate. That's fucking hell. I don't know what to say, man. If it was an accident and you hit the wrong button, hit me up, man, and I'll find a way to send it back. But either way, Jesus, thank you. Fucking hell. It's really that's thrown me off completely, man. In a good way, I mean, of course. Thank you. Opinions on fans who say... I need to get back and talk to Owen for a minute here. I feel like we need a bit of one-on-one time here, Owen. Owen, give us something you want me to talk about at least, mate. You know what I mean? I mean, a hi, Craig, and that generous of a super chat. I feel like you at least deserve some insight on something, mate. Esto Colmo said, opinion on fans who say Klopp can't take us further. Yeah, I've seen some of that start to creep in a little bit on social media about fans who maybe think that this is what happened at Dortmund. You know, he pushed that team at Dortmund as far as he could, and eventually the methods just weren't working anymore. But to me, I don't think we've seen Jurgen Klopp given the opportunity to build his second team at Liverpool. Because, you know, teams work in cycles of 4 or 5 years, stuff like that. And we've got a lot of these players doing what they've been doing for that amount of time. And now is where we're looking to build the second of Klopp's, part of Klopp's evolution. Now remember, one thing that I always keep in mind is Jurgen Klopp said that he wants to leave the football club in a stronger position than when he arrived. And he will do that no matter what. Because the quality of the youth and the recruitment at underage level and the work that Alex Inglethorpe is doing with the rest of the coaches at Kirby is amazing. And the future will look bright because some talent will come through. But that's always a gamble. it's so hard to quantify and work out if somebody can make that last leap from the academy at underage level through. Now, there are some players you just know. Like Stevie G, they knew. You know, when Ronaldo was coming through at Lisbon, they would have known. Messi at Barcelona, you'd know. There are some players that you just hope don't get injured because they've got the talent and it's undeniable. And Harvey Elliott would have been one of these. Burst through at Fulham, made his debut at 15. Liverpool seen that talent very quickly and wanted to get him to Anfield. And, you know, the fact that he was shown around or offered to be shown around Madrid by what's his face? Ramos, and said, nah, you're all right. He wants to come to Liverpool. For that reason alone, I'll always love Harvey Elliott. And again, I'm on the lookout here for Owen, just in case. Love the content, mate. You're such a lovely person. Have to represent the fans. Big up to you, man. Jesus, another one, Owen. I don't mean this to sound rude, Owen. I'm just as a parent, dude. I don't know what age you are. I don't know where in the world you are, but you know, I don't. How do I say this? Don't get into trouble, is what I'm trying to say. Nor I don't want people's money, mate. I'm you so kind, but I don't know what to say, man. Except thank you, and it means a lot. I don't know what else to say, man. That's amazing, and yeah, fucking hell. It's only me, mate. You know what I mean? I'm not worth that. Craig, if you didn't get into top 4, surely there'd be big protests for the owners to leave. Yeah, it's amazing how everybody else involved in the Super League, their owners have acted in some way to resolve the situations. The Glazers, look, that's a different situation to some extent because, you know, yes, they were part of the Super League and yes, they aren't the greatest owners, but even the United fans that still want them out, and rightly so, will look and say, right, they stopped Ronaldo from going to City, they brought him back to United. They brought in Rafael Varane, and they've signed Jadon Sancho. And one more position to be filled, and I think United fans would say it's job done in the window that they'd hoped for, and Ronaldo's probably the cherry on top. You look at Arsenal, another club who had the Super League backlash, another club in the Cronkies who have American owners. Look at the money that they've spent. They've spent it awfully. They've fucking pissed it up against the wall, a lot of it, but they spent it. And yeah, here we are, looking at Jurgen Klopp, a generational talent of a manager, and he's getting nothing. He's getting scraps. He's getting the leftovers off the table to work with. And of all of the managers, by the way, that are getting the money to show around, he's the one with the best track record of success. For these transfers, like literally pound for pound, there probably isn't a better transfer committee. Maybe Leicester City actually. But other than that, we're probably right up there with the best hit rate for transfers. So if you're not going to trust the best of the best, then who the fuck are you going to trust? And what's the point? Owen, it's all good, mate. I haven't stolen my mum's credit card. I'm 21. Still a lot of money, man. But, you know, Owen, I'm just trying to make sure you're all right, mate. I don't want you financially stretching or anything. But, you know, if it's okay, if you're all right, man, then all I can say is again, thank you. You're very, very kind. Craig, when do you think FSG again? This is the Owen stream, by the way. From now on, this is the let's all thank Owen stream. By the way, I'm blown away, mate. Honestly, I feel like I should, you know, I owe somebody a nip slip or something at this point, mate. Yeah, some say give that money to Jurgen. Hi Craig, hope you and your family are okay. I just wondered, did you think we have a chance at winning the Premier League or Champions League this season? Hi at Davidson, and yes, I do. Like that's what hurts so much, isn't it? That even after all this lack of activity by the owners, and you know, we're not finished with them in the stream yet, there's still more to come, we still do look at the group that we have and know that our first 11, let's probably say our first 14 or 15 is right up there with most of the squads in the Premier League. Now you can argue around place for place. Chelsea look very, very strong. Manchester City probably still lacking a striker, although you don't know if that really annoys Guardiola or not, because in Guardiola's wet dream, he probably plays with 11 midfielders anyway. So it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating, man. But yeah, I do. I think we can go far in Europe, but I don't think it'll be because of the owners. I believe it'll be in spite of them. And it will all of our biggest fears is that we look back at this time and we look back at Jurgen Klopp's tenure at Liverpool and ask what may have been, because what he's achieved and these players have achieved is unbelievable. Will go down in Liverpool folklore and history, and rightly so. Jordan Henderson will go down as one of the great captains. Jurgen Klopp, one of the great managers. He broke that 30-year hoodoo. But there's still a lot of what ifs, isn't there? Like, what's the point of the Nike deal? What's the point of that extra revenue? What's the point of all the commercial partners? What's the point of telling us you can cover COVID losses with that 10% or some of the money from the 10%? Like, I've already seen the stories in the media talking about the impact of COVID-19 and how it will show on our balance sheet next year, and all the stuff that's trying to justify the quietness in this window. I don't know if they care. I know they care about the value. Of course I know they care about the value of the club, but I don't know if they're tone deaf. And that's the phrase that keeps coming back to me from Red Sox fans. And look, the two are inextricably linked in some way, although not financially. But the word I keep hearing back, or the phrase, is tone deaf from any Red Sox fans I speak to. Yes, they came in, they broke the curse of the Bambino. They've won a couple of World Series, I think maybe more. I don't follow baseball. I just know they've won at least 1 or 2 World Series in their time at the Red Sox and broke that curse. And they came in and they achieved the Premier League for us. They broke that 30-year hoodoo. But you can't sit on your laurels. Like, you're not going to get credited forever for that. Like, we won the league, brilliant. Thank you, great, well done. Push on. We want a legacy and we want a dynasty under Jurgen Klopp. We want to be looking to win 2 or 3 in a row. We want to add another European Cup. We don't want to go, oh yeah, you own the club for whenever they sell up, say 20 years and we won 4 trophies, 5 trophies, whatever it is. We want to look back and know that we did everything within our means to give Jurgen Klopp the best options, the best opportunities that he could. And I don't think these owners have done that, if I'm being honest with you. Thomas Rogula, thank you, buddy, said, hi Craig, from a United point of view, 30 million for Dan James is the best part of the summer transfer window over Ronaldo, Sancho and Varane. Masterpiece. Mate, on that one, right, basically, you've got the money for Ronaldo's fee, trying to 28 million from selling Dan James. Now, I know Ronaldo's on $500,000 a week or whatever, but as I've said before, Manchester United are a machine when it comes to generating cash. There was another super chat I was to get to here somewhere. How much for a nip slip, Craig? Name your price. Just go watch the Barcelona highlights video, mate. You get it for free. I want to get Owen, mate. Thank you, but stop. Love you, Craig. Keep up the great work. You deserve every success. Are you? I hope you're not lashing this on a credit card or something, dude. Honestly, in fact, I know because it ends in 99. You're paying with Apple Pay. See, I can figure that one out. It's a weird thing on AdSense and stuff. Anyone that uses an Apple phone or pays with Apple Pay, it always ends in 99 because Apple take a small cut of whatever on top of the cut YouTube take. But you can tell who's paid with what sometimes just by the amount, if it's a round number or not. But man, dude, Jesus, as people have said, yeah. I mean, just thank you, but please no more, mate. Like you've been more than fucking generous here. That's genuinely thrown me, man. Just buy Liverpool, mate. That'll work, yeah. That'll work. It's a great suggestion in the chat. Buy Liverpool. FSG out, own in, some people are saying. Which, yeah, maybe you can help, mate. I'll come in and do the Michael Edwards role, and you can be the FSG role. Own over FSG all day long, Tia says in the chat. Someone's saying, tell me to check my email now. Oh, okay. Right, hang on. I have an email here. 1 second. Genuinely, you like this one. There you go. That's the Owen Evans trophy. That's how quick we move. Look at that. There you go, man. And a little thank you, Mr. Crosby's already been hard at work, and there's the Owen Evans trophy. There you go, man. This is the Owen Evans stream, dedicated to you, dude, for your kindness. Love Mr. Crosby and how quick he is with that one. Look at that. Owen, what a legend. There you go. Trophy for you, man. The Owen Evans trophy. That will stay there for the remainder of the stream in homage to you, sir. And thank you for your kindness. Someone said I missed the super chat. My apologies. Let me fly back up. Craig, trust me, when Klopp leaves FSG, we'll sell up. I'd say you're probably right, Owen. I'd say you're probably right, mate. And that's scary, isn't it? That's scary, like. But yeah, I mean, I'd never really linked the two in my mind, if I'm being honest. Like, I've tried to figure in the next manager, of course, but I've never I've never tried to link that. Be interesting. It'll be interesting to hear. I'd love to have a genuine chat with Klopp and hear what he really feels. You know, not the statesman Klopp, not the man that's obviously doing the best for his club and his boys at the club and, you know, his staff and all of that stuff, because he has to say certain things. He has to say the right thing. But there's no way that he's not. There's no one going to tell me that he's not frustrated. He has to be. Newland Voider, yeah, you've bought Newland Voider at this stage, I think, Owen, mate. You probably we get a bit of Newland Voider. Go on, Newland. Give Owen a little dance there. Look, big fish, little fish, cardboard box. Go on, lad. Newland giving it socks there. Yeah, I needed something to make me smile today. Because look, I'm in a good mood and all, but I am frustrated. I'm like extremely frustrated for the whole transfer stuff. And those people that keep saying, like, do you think we'll get something done? Genuinely, I probably don't. It's more hope at this point than think, because... Sorry, I've seen something in the chat. I'm just trying to process. Is that true, Ross? I don't know. Ross just said Wolves signed Renato Sanchez. Well, he's injured, so be very risky if they did. If anybody can corroborate that, then please do let me know, because I don't know anything about it. Craig, if Tuchel came in instead of Klopp, would he have done a greater job? No, I don't think so. Like, Thomas Tuchel's a fantastic manager, don't get me wrong, but we can't say that it's Klopp that's stopping us from pushing on. You know, at least I won't say that. You know, I think Jurgen Klopp, has he done some things at times where we've questioned him? Of course. But I'm sure if that was Thomas Tuchel or any other coach, we'd have questions about them as well on specific things. You know, the biggest thing that stands out about the gaffer is sometimes we feel he leaves it a little bit too late. But let's look at the game against Chelsea as a prime example of all of this. So, Thomas Tuchel got a man sent off just before half-time. So he was able to turn to his bench and have somebody of the calibre of Thiago Silva there to help reshape to a proper hard back foot. Actually, a back, let's be honest, it was a back what? It was a back 8 and the goalkeeper, and then Lukaku kind of hovering around up front, back defender when he needed. He was able to turn to his bench and have all of that quality on it. We brought the only attacker that Klopp seems to trust off the bench before half-time because Bobby Firmino picked up a knock. And when we were chasing the game, we had Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Takumi Minamino sitting on the bench, and Klopp didn't touch them, didn't go near them. Why? Well, mustn't have felt, I don't want to say he doesn't trust them, but mustn't have felt that they could impact that game in a positive way. He turned to Thiago. I think we could probably understand that. Thiago's quick pass and maybe trying to play a ball around the corner, shake it up a little bit. But Divock Origi wasn't even in the matchday squad, was nowhere to be seen. So if we're trying to be spun the yarn that Divock Origi's still at the club and we can't bring in a striker, then I'm sorry, that's just not good enough. Because it's clear that Divock Origi isn't in the manager's plans moving forward. No matter what spin or PR nonsense is put on this by anyone, the options that Jurgen Klopp had to change that game, even in the last 5 minutes, when Robbo was absolutely shattered and he came off, we didn't have an attacking threat to bring on. We had to rely on another fullback to try and give us that width and to try and give us some attacking quality down that left-hand side. I think that speaks volumes for where we are right now. So we can talk about Takumi Minamino and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Naby Keita, and we can talk about the positive and good attributes that they have. of which they do, clearly. But they're also proven as to not being able to go through season after season without picking up knocks. Not one season, not two. You look back over the entire time of the time with the club, every season has been broken up with injury, which affects rhythm. So we do need that extra body. And no matter who tries to spin you a yarn, it's fucking bullshit. We need a forward or we need a midfielder. It depends on wherever you want to tell us Harvey Elliott is playing. We need the other position. So it looks like Klopp's deploying Harvey Elliott as a midfielder, which is grand. The young man can float between the space between the lines and do a great job. Now, we looked a little bit off balance to me against Chelsea because the left-hand side didn't look great. Hendo didn't fit in as naturally on that left-hand side of the midfield as he did perhaps when he's on the right-hand side linking up with Salah and Trent. But Harvey Elliott looked really good on that right-hand side linking up with Trent and Mohamed Salah, so that's cool. Now we need to look at the position on the left side and go, right, well, can we keep trying to cram Hendo in there? Or do we need to maybe look at bringing in a body that allows us to at least have the option, like a Houssam Aouar or a Rafinha or somebody of that or a Jeremy Doku, to give us an attacking option? Because we don't really play with a 10. So we don't really have anybody with this free role that's able to just roam around and find pockets of space. That's not really the way the Klopp sets up. And if anything, we kind of use our number 9 or our centre forward as that base, for want of a better thing. Sometimes they drop deep, and what happens? If, let's say, Bobby Firmino comes back towards midfield, well, the centre-back has to make a decision. Do I go with the player, in which case it leaves some space in behind and maybe Mane and Salah can exploit it, or do I sit back in my position and allow Bobby Firmino to come pick up the ball with his back to goal, turn around, maybe then say, right, come break us down? So one of those things usually happens. So it's either we stick with this rigid 4-3-3 system, or we shake it up and we bring in somebody that requires us to set up a new system. And from what the time Klopp has been here, we've been fairly rigid in the way that we play in the system. Now, systems can, of course, become fluid within games. A 4-3-3 can easily become a 4-2-3-1, a 4-2-1-3, a 4-1-3-2. It's fucking limitless options. But, you know, we can only work off history. And again, a lot of these changes we're speaking about will only be dependent on the variable options the Klopp has on the bench. And those options are limited at best. Last one now, said Owen Evans. Thank you, mate. Look, the trophy's there. It's yours. And Jesus, mate, thank you so much for everything. Literally, mate, thank you for so much. I don't know what else to say, man. Except, I don't know, the door is open if you want to pop around for a cup of tea, mate, and a hug, because I feel like I owe you a hug or something at this point. Even just seeing the words here on the screen, Owen Evans donated £80, £89.99 via Super Chat, just freaks the shit out of me. I feel like I owe you an apology, Owen, because I'm not very good at taking and receiving love and compliments, mate. So I always feel like there's a con somewhere, or someone's about to pull a prank on me here. So, you know, your sincerity deserves my sincerity. So, mate, look, thank you. You're extremely generous, and that's all I can say, mate, is thank you. And I really appreciate it. And just knowing that somebody believes that much in me, you know, I'm nearly 40 years of age and I'm still insecure like everybody else. So knowing that you and the amazing subscribers we have on the chat that support me and allowing me to chase and live my dream. Like, I am a YouTuber. I am a YouTuber. That is fucking mental to say at 39 years of age, almost 40 years of age. But it's only because of you guys. So, yeah, cheers for all your support and belief. Because without you guys, you know, I don't know where I would have been during lockdown. And I mean that from a mental health perspective more than anything else. I mean, just being able to come on here and interact with the world and, you know, share views and opinions and laugh and sing and joke and have fun and talk about shrinkflation and crisps and Kyo's and Diet Coke and all this mad shit we talk about, and boxing, of course, as well. It's you guys that make this community. And, you know, I'm immensely proud to be at the head of this community, or a part of the community that you guys have built. Do you have a real job, or are you a YouTuber full time? I am now, pretty much at this full time, mate. Yes. 7 years to get here, by the way, but and never thought about getting to this point. Like, never thought it would get to a point where I can eventually earn a living from this. It was always just about having fun and talking about the club. And it still is, which is why we'll never go behind a paywall or anything like that. I believe fan content should be free, because I don't think finances should be a barrier for anybody to be kept away from what we do, like fan culture. It's just my opinion. Is Bobby out for 2 months? I don't want to spread misinformation, bonkers LFC. I don't know. Now look, you know, if I look at WhatsApp, if anything does come in, I'll let you know. But I'm just looking here right now. Nope, there's a couple of messages, but none from me, no. We love your stream, Craig. Thank you, Michael. What's the crack, Kyle? How are you, dude? Lovely to see you in again. I hope you're well. Right, folks, keep more of your questions or transfer thoughts coming in, because, you know, I ain't got anywhere to go. I'm good. I'm here till at least 10 o'clock, so keep your comments coming. News on Suarez back to LFC legit, ? Says Kelsier. I don't believe so. I think he's going to stay at Letty for the last year of his contract. And, you know, that's what I've been led to believe. That's what he said himself after the end of the season. So I don't think it's legit. You know, unless something happens that... Craig, you missed my super chat 5 minutes ago. Jesus. Right, mate. Let me scroll back through. It's been a bit of a mad one, mate, as I'm sure you'll understand. So if I did miss it... Just gone back. Owen Evans said, love the content. You're such a lovely person to have to represent the fans. Big up to you. I mean, I love that, mate, but I don't ever claim to represent anyone's opinions but my own. Sorry, mate. Can you put your comment in again? I promise you I'll read it out. I can't find the super chat. It's gone too far up the screen at this point. But I promise you, dude, I will read out the comment. Just stick a hamburger beside it or something and my fat ass will sniff it out. But I do apologise, mate, because I know it's hard to earn money and I do want to read your comment out. Pieface to LFC. We're alright for a goalkeeper. You know, Pieface and myself, probably the two best non-signed goalkeepers in the world. Potentially Cal the Dragon. Give Cal a shout as well. You know, we are available, myself and Pieface, if anybody is short in the goalkeeping department. Pieface doing his best yashing impression, of course, at the creators. Look at the 3 burgers there. Meat. Feel like a bit like Homer. Gummy Venus de Milo. Oh. Connor's got to be proud of me now for that one. People here need to stop whinging and trust Klopp. I mean, look, Paddy, I get your... I try and read out stuff from both sides here as well. People who are, you know, happy, people who are unhappy. And you seem to be somebody who's happy with the squad, mate. And I fully appreciate your perspective on it. I just, I don't think anybody in the chat that I'm aware of, Paddy's Bricks, has any issue with Klopp. I think we all trust the manager. And I think it's the fact that we trust him and love him so much, as well as the squad, that we're angry or frustrated that he's not being backed. At least that's how I read the take of the audience, mate. But look, I respect your opinion. Skyfire2112. Oh no, let me get this one done. He said, I put a €2 donation. How could Wolves sign Hwang Lee Chan and Renato Sanchez in one day and we can't sign anyone in 3 months? We did sign... She put the burger in and it worked. See? Babu, it worked, mate. Well, we did sign Canadi, but I get where you're coming from. The simple answer is, mate, it's ambition. And they can hide behind COVID and high wages and every other financial trick that they want to pull and PR stunt that they want to pull. But one thing that Liverpool fans are not is idiots. So, you know, I'm just quickly trying to check here if I can, you know, figure out if that is true with regards to these transfers, because things are moving quickly. And I'm trying to figure out... So, Willian leaves Arsenal. Says here Chelsea are still keen on Saul Niguez as well. Palace for Hudson-Odoi of Celtic. I'm not saying you're wrong, man, but I suppose the point still stands whether it's true or not. Other clubs have done a lot of business and we have done nothing. And mate, look, I can give you an answer But I'm sure that the club or the PR department or the accountants department or somebody who's pro FSG more than I am will counteract what I have to say. And there are people in far better positions of knowledge than me. You know, I'm only a fan. But I like you, ask the same question. How can Wolves do this business? How can Villa do their business? How can Leeds do their business? How can Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, every other Premier League club? And we're left sitting on our hands. And in profit, man. In profit. It's not like we've signed Canade and kept everybody else. The Canade fee has been gotten back. We sold Harry Wilson. We sold Shaqiri. We sold Grabara. We sold Lee Miller. Who else have we moved on in this window? We sold Grujic. I'm trying to think of who else has moved on in this window, because there's been Gini Wijnaldum's wages obviously off the book. He's gone to PSG on a free. We were waiting on the Henderson announcement of his new contract, and if they think that that's going to suffice tomorrow, they can fuck right off, by the way. Henderson deserves better than to be used as bait on transfer deadline day, so hopefully we hear about that contract renewal next week or something. And, you know, we've had players renew the contracts, but as I explained to you, or tried to explain yesterday, extending the players' contracts is kind of beneficial to the accountants or to the balance sheets of the club as well, because the player's value or the debt can now be amortized over a longer period of time, meaning that we have less debt on the books. So, you know, there is method to that madness as well. So it wasn't just done out of the kindness of their hearts. Skyfire2112, thank you for your super chat, mate. So I'm a Spurs fan, but I love your content and your passion. Be well from Canada. Love Canada, mate. My wife has lots of relatives, 3 sets of aunts and uncles that live over in various parts of Canada. Most of them kind of around the Mississauga, Toronto area. But yeah, thank you, dude. And I really appreciate your kindness. Look at all them burgers, you bastards. Burger Squad! And sold Arioni. Yes, you're right, mate. Yes, we sold Arioni as well. That was the other one I was forgetting about. So yeah, look, we're in profit of, I think, about 12 million, if my memory's right, in this window, and yet we're still sitting here with our nuts in our hands, going, like, please, like, it feels. Does anybody else feel a little bit guilty about it? By the way, like, I feel somewhat guilty moaning when my aim and my anger is in no way aimed at the players or the manager. It's squarely aimed at the people who are being tight fuckers and not supplying the manager with what he needs. So it feels horrible because I don't want to be negative. I want to be, you know, if we were realistic, if we went in this window and we got, again, I'm spitballing names here, but let's say we signed, for argument's sake, Saul and who else have we been linked with? Doku. Let's just say those 2 names. And let's say it cost us a combined £75 million. I think we, as fans, would have gone, that's kind of what we expected. That's par for the course. These are players that, you know, Saul, as an example, could come in and fill that Gini Wijnaldum space. And then we could look at Doku as somebody for maybe the here and now, but also with a lot of potential for the future. And they would both fall in the category of players in the age bracket and price bracket that we would become accustomed to signing at Liverpool under FSG. Nobody was realistically expecting us to go out and get Haaland, Mbappe and Messi this summer. You know, we dreamt about it, we hoped about it, but realistically, deep down, we all knew we're probably looking at, you know, some decent value transfers in and around the 30 to 40 million pound mark. And, you know, Klopp to do what he can do and turn them into very good players. So I think the expectations were entirely reasonable in the window, but I think the execution from the club so far has been nothing short of pathetic. Sanchez to Wolves almost confirmed. So, and there you go. And look, Leeds, 30 million, Dan James. Now, do I want Dan James? No. But I'm just saying that they have 30 million quid to play around with. And yet again, we're sitting on our hands. I'd be happy with 75 million investment. So would we all, Matthew. And that's the thing, mate. That's what hurts. Most of us are being entirely reasonable. There are always going to be people who go too far in either direction. Of course there are. That's you know, that's the world we live in. But most of us rational, sensible people live somewhere in the middle, where we know that the club has to live within its means, but constantly crying. Like, FSG are like that mate that you have that always disappears before it's his time to get the round in. You know what I mean? Or goes to the toilet when the check comes at the restaurant, even though it's his turn to pay the bill. You know, that kind of way. That's what FSG feel like to me. That they're, you know, transfer when the deadline day window comes now and they're just kind of over in Boston or wherever going. So, new lick of paint, Linda, what do you reckon? Wallpaper could probably do with a bit of a touch-up over there. And else unhappening, Linda? No, how's your day? You alright, yeah? Yeah. What about that thing that we own over on the other side of the pond? How are they getting on? Oh, Liverpool. Oh, yeah, they're doing alright, yeah. For 7 points over 9 this season. Is Jurgen still the manager? Yeah, no, he's still there, yeah. Still there. So should we do anything or... But no, I think we're alright, John. Steak dinner? Yeah. Nice bottle of red. Okay, Linda, thanks. That's kind of how I imagine it's going on at the minute. You know, could be slightly different, but somewhere around that. I'd be happy with 35 million, said Jack Dunn. Craig, do you think we will win the Invincible anytime soon? We've got a good defence. I'm somebody that, I said this at the time, when we had a chance of going unbeaten an entire season, I couldn't give a shit about going invincible. To me, the standard bearer is that Manchester City 100 points tally. That to me is the standard because, you know, they put the most points on the board. And I know people might rate the Invincible season more highly, but I don't. I think that Manchester City put 100 points on the table. That is the greatest season that the club has had. And when we got 99 points and finished so agonisingly close, I would have loved us to have gotten over that line and gotten 101 points or more. Hey Craig, watching from Texas. I really want to get and visit Texas someday, mate. I'm so frustrated with how the transfer window is unfolding, but do you also think Klopp deserves some questioning? He is genuinely happy with the thin squad. Some people do believe what you've written there, mate. Yeah, some people do think that Klopp is genuinely happy and accepts that this is the situation he has to work in and that his job is to improve and coach players. And I suppose to some extent that is absolutely true, but I'm very cynical. I like that he doesn't look around and go, not to say that he's jealous of what other managers are getting in the window, but, you know, he must be sitting there going, we've pretty much gotten everything spot on since we've come in here with regards to transfers, and, you know, we've built the academy system up, and, you know, that's gonna pay down the line when Bobby Clark and Musialowski and all of those boys come through, and Conor Bradley's about to come through, and, you know, we've got Harvey Elliott, we've got Curtis Jones, Queven Keller, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't think Klopp has ever envisioned a time where he's going to be a checkbook manager. Like, he's not going to go to the board and go, I need a £250 million rebuild this summer. So I think, again, mate, it's probably somewhere in the middle. I think he's been very statesmanlike, and he's trying to, like, there's no benefit to Klopp coming out and being negative now. Like, all that's going to do is undermine his stance and the players and put more negativity around the club where he doesn't need it. He needs to be positive. He needs to keep things upbeat. He needs to keep the players believing and focused on the task at hand. And that's what he should, that's where his headache should end. That's what I'm saying. He'll say all those things, and he probably does mean a lot of them, but I still feel that the club and the owners should be giving him better tools to use at his disposal. I hope I've explained that the way I intended it in my head. And look, Michael Edwards moving on. I mean, that was or potentially moving on. That was a huge, huge shock in this window. I'm not ignoring everybody, folks. Sorry, I'm just trying to... Right, so this is from The Athletic. This is something I just took a screenshot of earlier on when I was reading The Athletic. And it's around Michael Edwards and the current situation. Now, of course, I would always say I think The Athletic is great value for money. I've got no affiliation with them, but, you know, I love the content they put out on there. So please do feel free yourself to go and have a look on The Athletic if you do have it, or, you know, if you don't have a subscription, maybe just listen to me. So amicable discussions are thought to have been happening for some time, and while it is not beyond the realms of possibility that Edwards signs a new deal, the anticipation is he will exit. No other teams are said to be involved in the decision, and Liverpool would still find themselves in good shape, having promoted Julian Ward to the role of assistant sporting director last December. Ward is highly regarded in the game and has become an increasingly visible and influential figure at Liverpool, working alongside the likes of Edwards, manager Jurgen Klopp and recruitment staff. But the departure of Edwards would arrive as a surprise to many, given his emergence as such an important figure since joining Liverpool in November 2011 as head of performance and analysis. He progressed to director of technical performance and then technical director before the post of sporting director, which Edwards has occupied since November 2016 at no shortage of acclaim. So look, Julian Ward, is that the guy's name? Isn't Julian Ward? What's Julian Ward, wasn't it? Yes, Julian Ward has been brought in there and may go in if Michael Edwards moves on. But I suppose my question would be, why is Michael Edwards moving on? Now, if it's just genuinely because he fancies a change up in his career or fancies working on the other side of the world, fair enough. But if it's got something to do with him being unhappy at the club, you know, we may never know that. And I don't want to guess that. You know, we have to take everything at face value. But what gets me is, you know, what when Genie was leaving and how he felt disrespected by the money men at the club, and how Hendo was all of a sudden allowed to become a little bit annoyed. Our captain. And, you know, tone deaf, again, will be the phrase. Loads of people speculating about the length of his injury. I don't want to do that until we have an absolute confirmation from the club as to what it is or is not. So let's work on a worst case scenario for a moment. Best case scenario, you know, he's out for a few weeks. He's back after the international break or whatever. And, you know, we don't really miss a beat. Worst case scenario, a few people have said in the chat, 2 to 3 months. Now, if that's the case, I would imagine, and I don't know if it is or isn't, again, this is just me playing worst case scenario here. If that is the case, you would imagine right now that there's some scrambling going on behind the scenes at Liverpool Football Club, because we cannot go into 2 or 3 months and then lose maybe Mohamed Salah or Sadio Mane to the AFCON then in January. And that's without anybody else picking up an injury. So why are we always 1 or 2 injuries away from a shitstorm? That shouldn't be allowed to happen. We should have at least 2 top quality players in every single position on the pitch. No reason why we shouldn't be able to do that. And here we are again, you know, 3rd game of the season. You know, Bobby feels a hamstring, or I think it's a hamstring or a thigh muscle. And then, you know, we're playing Jota. And now we're all of a sudden down to the bare bones already. Bare fucking bones already. 3rd game of the season. So how are we expected to believe that we can get through a 60 plus game season and the Klopp can manage these guys through this while we're losing players to the AFCON? Albeit they're only missing, I think, 3 games in total. Still more distance, more time travelled, all that kind of stuff. And this without all the international breaks, where the club don't have control over the training. They will give some tailored training programs or give some assistance to the national teams, of course. But at the end of the day, we do seem to always pick up a fair few injuries when our players are on international duty. So if we don't plan for worst case scenario, that to me is unacceptable. Particularly when we've just had a season where worst case scenario happened and we still got out of it all right. Just about. By the skin of our teeth. Because of the brilliance of Alisson, the players and the manager. They can't keep being asked to pull rabbits out of hats. You know, they have to be given the tools. Is Nat Phillips staying? Again, Mason, the word coming out of the club is that there is still potential for up to 6 players to move between now and the time the window shuts at 11 p.m. tomorrow night. 6. So they think they can possibly sell 6, but there's ne'er a sniff of one coming in that we're aware of. So, and look, people are saying Takumi Minamino and stuff like that, and I get you, but does history tell us or show us that Klopp trusts Saki? Didn't bring him on against Chelsea. Farmed him out on loan to Southampton for the second half of last season. You mean there's nothing there to show us that he really believes that Minamino can be the difference maker? I'm not saying he can or can't, but I'm only working off the basis of what we've seen. We could have got Sanchez or Saul on loan. Yep, Saul has been offered around to every Premier League club, mate. Every single one of them. There's been talk of loans with options to buy, loans with obligations to buy, straight loans. And then now, for the last I read, Chelsea are in talks to maybe take him on loan. Chelsea, like N'Golo Kante, Kovacic, who else went to there? Fucking Jorginho. Centre midfielders coming out their arse. And they're looking to bring Saul in. And that's before we start talking about their attacking midfielders or... I don't know, lads. It's madness. And this is in a window, by the way, where Messi has moved, Ronaldo has moved. Mbappe could and probably will move. If he doesn't move, will definitely move or sign a pre-contract in January. Where Camavinga has been available, where we could have put pressure on Barcelona for the likes of Pedri as an example, where Romelu Lukaku moved. So we've seen a window where we're supposed to have no money in the sport anymore. Probably one of the biggest transfer windows I can remember in my lifetime. And the club who has been told that we are cutting our cloth accordingly and biding our time to make sure that when generational talents become available, that we have the funds and means at our disposal to go and act on that. Well, where are they? Where's the Camavinga bid? Where's the pressure on Pedri? Where's the trying to put pressure on Nicolo Barella or somebody from Inter Milan? Where was the bid for, let's say, Jude Bellingham? Nowhere. Harvey Barnes was even allowed. Somebody who I know for a fact that we've been tracking and have high hopes for was allowed to sign a new deal at Leicester without us trying to go in there and get him. We are the masters at unearthing talent for other fucking clubs. We are the masters of tracking people. But yeah, we know we can execute things really quickly, just like that. Diogo Jota, done quickly. Fabinho, done quickly. Nobody had a clue. Van Dijk, all of a sudden, we knew he was coming, but like we didn't know exactly how quick. Then nobody had a clue. Bang, there's Van Dijk with a Christmas tree behind him holding up a shirt. Are we going to get that happy ending to this? Well, I don't think we'll get a happy ending. You know, we don't like a happy ending, but let's wait and see. Always next summer. I feel like that should be a fucking t-shirt at this point, folks. Always next summer. Sorry, Craig, I've only just joined. Is there any transfer rumours? The nearest thing to anything believable that I've seen is the Damsgaard stuff. So, the thought that Liverpool could still be in for Damsgaard of Sampdoria. That's the only thing that I've seen that I could maybe say could have some legs to it. And I don't even know what that. I'd be just guessing. Craig, remember next summer we will do the business. Oh, yeah. Huge summer, yeah. Watch what happens next summer. Something will happen between now and then where there'll be a get out of jail free card and an excuse made. Do you know what happened? The accounts will be published that will show the impact of COVID and the pandemic. And that excuse will probably be brought out as to why we can't spend next summer. Because let's not forget, the accounts that are about to be published will only show, I believe, 6 weeks of the real impact of COVID. So they'll still have that get out of jail free card to play during the season as well. So, you know, I don't buy into all this. Facts are facts. All we work on is bring in somebody, we'll talk about them. Don't bring in somebody, you talk smoke, blow smoke up our arses. We're not falling for it. I believe Adama can improve Liverpool. Okay, that probably be helpful to us, Michael, when he ends up at Spurs tomorrow, because he has asked George Mendes to make that move happen. Spurs are interested in him, and it looks like Wolves are already moving to bring in a replacement for half the amount. So whether he can do a job or not, mate, Spurs have acted, and Adama has instructed George Mendes to try and go out there and make that move happen. Well, we're sitting around here playing the blame game with each other and asking the what ifs. If we make a signing tomorrow, do you think all is forgiven? Well, from my perspective, all will never be forgiven with FSG because of the Super League. But if we make a signing tomorrow, will it be forgiven or read the transfer window? That depends what the signing is. Does it look like somebody who we've waited and got at a really good price and we all go, all right, I get it now. I get it. Credit where it's due. We're after bringing in insert name here, for half the price we thought that person might be worth, and we played a blinder? Or does it look like we've scrambled around because Firmino's picked up a little knock and we have another version of Ozan Kabak and Ben Davies scenario? You know, it's not any signing will do, mate. It's whoever Klopp wants and the right signing. That would be what would make my mind up tomorrow. What have we got? 455 likes. Can we do 500? Please do hit the like button as well. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you are enjoying the stream. I'm going to take you guys right through the transfer window tomorrow evening. I'm going to be here, I'd say probably 6 or 7 o'clock, right through till the window closes. I'm probably about an hour after that, because often at times there are term sheets or late deal sheets that go in as well. Craig, can you go over the Hudson-Odoi links? I believe, from what I've been told, Queens, that they're Leicester. So there is a Premier League club that have approached Chelsea of interest of Callum Hudson-Odoi, and from what I've seen, it's Leicester, not Liverpool. Yeah, I did reach out to a couple of people over that one, but what I've seen from journalists that I don't know personally, and I'll admit to have only seen this from journalists on Twitter, it looks like Leicester was that club. Would I have McNeil? Do we mean Dwight McNeil from Burnley? Is this the guy? If that's the case, do you know what? I can honestly say I don't know if I've paid much attention to him, mate, to be entirely honest with you. But again, I don't know if we're talking about the same player here. How many players do you think we'll sign tomorrow? God, that's very optimistic, Rahu. You know, that's working off the premise that we will actually sign somebody. My gut right now is that we won't do anything. That's my gut, because as each hour passes by, I start to, you know, replay over the cost benefit analysis of why we'd leave these things so late. So I allowed myself to believe the overseas player quota for ages. I allowed myself to believe, okay, we've got X amount of overseas players. We can only have 17, I think it is, in the squad. We had 18. We could rule one of them out because it was Loris Karius and he's not getting in the squad. So we were then down to bang on the limit. And I was thinking to myself, right, either we move Shaqiri and Origi on, or Shaqiri or Origi on, and we go looking for value in Europe somewhere for the forward position, or we don't move them on and we turn towards somebody like a Jared Bowen, a homegrown talent who we could register. But when we moved Shaqiri on, and it was for a bit less than we reportedly wanted, but yet there was nobody coming in, or no talk of anybody coming in. As each hour and day went by, I began to believe less and less. And I can't see the reason for it to be so late. Like, if there was a late deal to happen, you'd probably expect you to hear something from the selling club, because they'd want to put up the ante, you know, leak it out there, put the pressure back on them, make us look like, you know, we don't want them to go, but if an offer comes in, we can't, you know, that type of scenario. You've seen it play out loads of times. So as it's gone by, I've started to think, well, no, like, we still have Origi here, who isn't even in matchday squads. We still have Karius on the books, who will never play for Liverpool again. I don't know. It just feels like the height of stupidity. It feels like we've gone from being on cloud nine, consistency, to showing what a couple of injuries can do last year and how badly that can impact a tightly knit squad and a very thin squad, to not learning our lessons and being here the next year with the exact same fucking scenario. Would you take Donny van de Beek? Again, mate, my question would be, where does Klopp see Harvey Elliott? So if Klopp sees Harvey Elliott as a midfielder, excuse me, then the answer would be no, because we need a forward. If Klopp sees Harvey Elliott as the forward, I mean, one, it's never in a million years going to happen. Liverpool and United don't do business with each other, but, you know, Donny van de Beek, I believe, is a good footballer. Excuse me. Opinion on Wolves signing Ronaldo Sanchez on loan? Well, if they do pull it off, it'll be that that Portuguese link, won't it? It will be that Mendes link that I keep talking about that has brought a lot of great talents like Podence and Neto and Adama Traore and a lot of other good players. Like, I mean, remember, Ruben Neves signed for Wolves when they were in the fucking Championship. Ruben Neves. So yeah, there's always been a good, strong link there to George Mendes' clients, and you know it's a kind of perfect scenario, isn't it? George Mendes has talented players, dropped them into the Premier League at Wolves, good Premier League club, tried and tested, then they move on elsewhere, big fee, win-win-win. Kind of a more palatable version of what you see with Mina Raiola and what he's doing at Dortmund with a lot of his players. What about Joshua Kimmich? Again, I've not seen anything to suggest we're in for him. Madrid did sign, wasn't it, Sabitzer today? Didn't they announce Sabitzer from Leipzig? I'm sure it was Sabitzer they announced today. So yeah, they've got him. Craig, when are you going to England? Friday. Flying out Friday morning, mate. Back on Sunday night. Ainsley Maitland-Niles from Arsenal. No. I think we should and could do better. Big signing for Madrid that came out of nowhere. Who? Please feel free to fill me in because I'm not sure who exactly it is you're talking about here. You know, and I don't like to open up Twitter during these conversations because, Twitter can be a bit of a liar, pants on fire type scenario. So Ronaldo Sanchez close to joining Wolves. Again, just a bit of Bobby Firmino talk. Nope, nothing that I've seen anyway. Another transfer window wasted. We let Chelsea, Man United catch up on our squad quality. Get those FSG clowns out, said Mr. Bud. Madrid signed Camavinga, have they? Fucking nice bit of business by them, and that's a massive fuck you to PSG from them, by the way, because Paris Saint-Germain wanted to sign Camavinga, and I guess because they weren't playing ball over Kylian Mbappe, maybe Madrid just made that move and know that they'll get Mbappe for a pre-contract agreement in January. So yeah, another good 18-year-old generational talent, you know, that type of player that we spoke about, that we were led to believe that the club were biding their time for. Well, you can say TTFN to another one, because Camavinga then, if he's off to Madrid, then, you know, that's another possible superstar out the door that we sat here on our hands on while another club came and got them. Oh, fucking hell. But we've got Nike though, so it's all good, you know. We've got Nike and coconut water. I don't even think we have the coconut water anymore, by the way. Would you let Bobby go to get a player like Mbappe? That's just too hypothetical. Like, it's not going to happen. Fabrizio was just tweeting Madrid in advanced talks. Well then, there you go. A club who could potentially be fucked out of the Champions League and are in a questionable position financially at the minute, out there looking to bring in Camavinga. And the only business, I think, to be fair to Real Madrid, if you look at their past few transfer windows, I don't think they've really spent that much money. They brought in David Alaba, obviously, on a technically free transfer with a very high wage. But other than that, you know, they haven't spent that much in recent years. Can you stream the Ireland match? I will be. I'll be on That's Football with Mark Goldbridge for the Portugal-Ireland game on Wednesday, mate. We'll be doing that one on there. You're really just saying fuck you tonight with your shirt? No, I'm more of an Adidas person, to be honest with you. I've said that numerous times. I mix between the two, but no, I'm more saying this is clean and in my wardrobe by wearing this shirt, mate. And you know, why would I say F you to Nike? I've bought a few of their shirts. I've bought a couple of hoodies and stuff this season, and yeah, I've done my part. Do you know what I mean? I bought my young leather kit. I've bought myself a kit. I've bought a couple of hoodies. You know, I've done my part. I'm sure you guys at home have done your part. I'm sure you bought that Nike Liverpool branded product to help the 20%, you know, chip into the old fund there to try and get a transfer. That's a fair point. Our Champions League group is tough. We need to cover positions. It is a tough Champions League group. I like the fact it's a tough Champions League group, if I'm being honest with you. But yes, you are right. There won't be any games there where you'd look at and go, right, like we should be handily winning this when we can play 2 or 3 of the kids. It would be a risk, you're right. And that's before we even talk about domestic cups. Like, we know we're away against Norwich in the League Cup. Philip Hunt, how are you, my man? If Bobby's out for 2 to 3 months, which is the rumour, and I have to point out rumour doing the rounds at the minute, then why the hell aren't we trying to get it forward? I'm furious, Craig. What are we doing? Do you want me to stay on till 10:30, folks? Because I had planned on saying goodbye now, but I feel like there's still a lot of people in the chat and probably a lot of anger that people want to vent, and I'm happy to be your sounding board to vent that anger. So anyway, to get back to Philip's comment, fuck off, Philip, is what we're doing by the looks of it, mate. And excuse my bad language at times, but it does get emotional, like. It does. It gets to me, particularly like football. I live and breathe this shit, and I know most of you do at home as well. My weekends and my mood are often dependent on a football club. Call that pathetic if you want. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. I'm just telling you that this is how I live as a person. You know, even my dog knows if Liverpool don't do well, the ears are down, and he's like, all right, fella, you know, I know you're in a bad mood. I'm just going to go in the kitchen if you need me, gives a holler, like. So yeah, I agree with you, Philip. Longer, please. No problem. We'll carry on for another 10 minutes. You look great. Oh, thank you, mate. I have a lot of kind words today. Maybe a little bit of sun. Do you know what I mean? Look, I'm not as pale as normal. So yeah, for somebody that turns 40 next month, you know, I think I'm doing all right. Except for the weight, which of course I need to get down badly. Need new owners now. Only chance for a change in the future. We need to get these owners out of our club, says Mo Patel. 28 to 30 million for Camavinga. That's just... that's almost insulting, isn't it? And I mean, like, the fact that a player of that potential has just maybe been sold for that number. And we're being told we can't afford fucking anyone. It's pathetic. It's just pathetic. Let's sign Draxler. I wouldn't want Julian Draxler anywhere near Liverpool, Ben. In just my opinion, dude. Smelling good, Craig. Said Craig smells lovely. You love to see it. So you know what? I did find a thing of Paco Rabanne that I forgot I had of aftershave under the sink in the bathroom. So there you go. That's a W. Sarabia from PSG. I don't think PSG are going to want to sell to us to try and strengthen us, but I've also not seen any links to Sarabia either. Why hasn't Oxlade-Chamberlain played? Is he being sold? I was led to believe Oxlade-Chamberlain was going to be kept this season. And we'd seen in pre-season that he was deployed in a game or two in the false 9 position. But yeah, you're right. He was sitting on the bench against Chelsea and wasn't brought on when we probably could have done with a direct running, pacey player who's not afraid to have a crack when we were trying to break down that very well organised Chelsea defence. Craig, just stop replying to repetitive questions or unrealistic ones, then people are getting out of hand. I don't understand what you mean by repetitive questions. It's the end of the transfer window, Sodos. Most of the questions are probably... And look, we've also got to bear in mind, mate, people drift in and out of the stream. So some people will have seen the first 15 minutes, say, or somebody else might have only come in 5 or 10 minutes ago. So I always try and keep that in mind when I go back over stuff because... You know, I'm not arrogant enough to think that people sit here from 8:45 until I finish. You know, the majority drift in and out or won't know. So I always try and... I take your point as well, of course, but I always just try and mix it up. Craig is saying it's 25 million base and 5 million add-ons for Camavinga. Why weren't we all over that? Liam, your guess is as good as mine. And I spoke about this before. The French national manager, Didier Deschamps, was singing this kid's praises, saying he is a generational talent and a superstar, and there he is available for, let's be honest here, for what I'm trying to compare this to what we've sold for probably what the guts of Grujic and Wilson. Let's say we could have got Camavinga. Makes sense of that because I can't. I can't sit here in good conscience and make sense of that. Someone keeps saying Fekir from Betis. We already pulled the plug on that, and there's too much bad blood there for that to ever happen. Official bid for Real Madrid for Eduardo Camavinga, a bit more than €30 million. Add-ons included in the proposal. Camavinga prefers to leave Rome now rather than the free agent in 2022. Which, again, would have made him an entirely gettable player. Now, I'm not saying Camavinga wanted to come to Liverpool, but I'm saying Ron were in a position there where they knew it was either, okay, sell him in this window for as much as we can get, or he goes on a free next summer. And Real Madrid have gone in there now and put their money down on the table, whereas John W. Henry and Linda are still looking at the wallpaper and maybe halfway through the steak dinner we spoke about earlier on. No, I don't mean to have a go at Linda, by the way, sorry. I just brought Linda into it because we had a little stupid skit we were kind of doing earlier on in the stream. I don't intend to offend a lady in any way, shape or form. But John, mate, get your fucking finger out. Where's the money, John? Where's the money? Tic-tac, as our friend would say in Spain. Tic-tac. Oxlade-Chamberlain will never be a regular first-team player. Get rid. Right. Now let's play the hypothetical game of we decide to sell Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Let's play that game. 1, who's buying him? And 2, will they pay his wages? Because it's all very well and good, me and you and everybody else playing Fantasy Premier League or Fantasy Manager, but Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has a partner who's expecting a baby. He has settled up in this part of the world. And will he want to uproot himself? And will he want to move to another city? And will he be able to get the wages he gets at Liverpool? And will the sporting project be as attractive to him? Because it's all very well and good us all saying it, but somebody has to be willing to put the money down. That's the reason we still have Divock Origi at the club. Because nobody so far has paid the money that we want for Divock. He's been available for the past 18 months that I'm aware of. And nobody has ponied up the dough that would be enough to sell him. So we're still paying him 60 grand a week or something, plus whatever bonuses for not being in a matchday squad. Which is frustrating for everyone. I imagine it's frustrating for him because I'm sure, you know, as nice as it must be to collect 60k a week or whatever, he's a footballer. He wants to play football. So I'm not going to go in on Divock for that. Because I'm sure if a proposal was put to him that he thought was right, he'd take it. Would I take Yarmolenko? No, I wouldn't have. Good move for West Ham at the time, but no, not for us. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, good player in there, said Damien Lean. There is a good player in there. I don't know if he's the right fit for us, Damien, but I've often looked at Ruben Loftus-Cheek and thought, you can see all the attributes there without a shadow of a doubt, mate. You know, I've seen him play games where he's come in and bossed it, and I've seen him other times be a little bit more hit and miss, but there's definitely talent there. Our only consistent scorer is Mohamed Salah. I can't argue with you. You're spot on. Sadio Mane, what was it, 16 last season, if my memory's right, off the top of my head. People keep saying Suarez at Anfield. Let me just rewind back to what I've said many, many times. Every time we get drawn against a Spanish club in a European competition, there is either a link for us to one of their players or a link for them coming in to take one of our players without fail. Now, you add into that the fact that Ronaldo's obviously gone back to United and people are getting their sentimental hats on and they realise that Luis Suarez has won my year at Atleti. And they're trying to put 2 and 2 together there and, you know, coming up with God knows what. But to the best of my knowledge, there's no chance of that happening. Would I swap Origi for Benrahma and 15-20 million West Ham's way? No. I would rather just sell Origi and get the player Klopp wants. This is all, again, us settling. Because if Benrahma is number 1 on Klopp's transfer targets, have at it. But again, I go back to what I've said before. Klopp shouldn't have to settle. He should be getting his number 1 or his number 2 targets, and he should be getting it in a reasonable amount of time. And his number 1 or his number 2 targets will be fairly reasonable because he knows what he has to work with. Pedri makes so much sense. If we bid around 50 million, Barca need to sell a lot of their players. Mate, you're preaching to the choir. Who was it that said that? I like to give people end of the go. Look, you're preaching to the choir. I said this many times. Barcelona are there to be shithoused now. You know, they've done the kicking for many years. They were the club that came in, particularly to us, took Suarez, took Coutinho. Now they're hemorrhaging cash. They need to free up money. We should be in there and we should be all over it. Mariba, he looks like he's off to Spurs. Is it Spurs for Mariba? Or somebody was in for Mariba. I think it was Leipzig. Leipzig he ended up at, if I remember correctly. Sorry. And there's more there. Like they're practically trying to like they're leaving Coutinho standing there with his bags, hoping a taxi comes to pick him up. Basically, they want to free up, or they tried to free up Antoine Griezmann's wages. You know, have we seen sight nor sound of Leo Messi's mate? You know, Sergio Aguero? Nope, because I don't think they can register him. And yeah, they're there to be abused right now, and that's what big clubs should do. We should be in there and go, oh, you don't want to lose Pedri? Yeah, but the bank's coming in and closing in, and we've got this 50 million here. You know, we could give it to you. You know, sweeten the deal. You know, you're losing a player, we'll loan you a player. There's so many ways there we could be doing business, but nope, sitting on our hands yet again. TRM Vipers, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, mate, newest member. If you want to become a member, ladies and gentlemen, hit that join button. If you don't see it, there is a link in the description. Membership's $4.99 a month, but what you do get as access as part of your membership is into our Anfield Agenda members only Discord group. Now, there's 2 Discord groups. There's one for the general public that me and Connor don't go near. It's just there for us to post reminders about videos and stuff like that. And then there's the members Discord group, which I'm quite active in, to be fair. I won't say very, but quite active in, usually late at night. And we talk about stuff in there, you know, any little bits of information about the channel or information I get, I throw in there whenever I can. And that comes as part of your membership, as well as all the emojis that we use on match days and the Anfield Agenda logo beside your name. So for those that are members, just refresh the community tab on the YouTube channel and you'll see a link there to the Discord group. It'll only show up if you're a member, so welcome. And if anybody else wants to join, again, that's part of what you get. And we're working on more stuff as well. We're trying to, you know, I realise $4.99 a month is an expense, and I want to try and give people value for that. But we won't put content away from people. There'll never be any content that we won't share for everyone. Sometimes we do give them access to, like, let's say a Craig Station video that I've recorded an interview or something. We might give the members a day early or something like that. How much chances of Doku at Anfield? Probably high, but not necessarily in this window. Like, look at it right now. Ron are going to lose Camavinga, so he's going to Real Madrid by the looks of it. Are they going to want to lose Doku in the same window when he still has 3 years left on his contract at Ron? Probably not. Not for anything less than they would want, which seems to be €50 million. Because the power there is with the club because of the length of contract. Whereas in the Camavinga situation, he was in the final 12 months of his deal. Bit more pressure because they would have lost him for free. Craig, have I been in the COP? Yes, of course, mate. Plenty and plenty and plenty of times. Usually, for some odd reason, I always end up over the, I think 308. Nearly always in 308. By some weird fluke. I think it's 308. Right-hand side anyway. Yeah, I've never been on the left side of the COP or in the middle of the COP. Always been over on the right-hand side. But I'll also be honest with you and go, I'm an owl lad now. And I like a little bit of comfort. So I'm probably more of a main stand halfway line kind of lad, if I'm being honest with you at this stage of my life. But yeah, I've been in the COP many, many times, mate. And nearly fell over the seats a few times. I used to love the paddock before the Kenny Dalglish stand was redone. I used to, before the main stand, was redone. I used to love the paddock. I remember I went there for a game when Rafa was in charge, and we were playing Real Betis in the Champions League, And I went to a travel agent for this one, and it was reasonable actually. So we went on a day trip, and our tickets were like 3 rows behind Rafa, and I was like, looks nearly touched the man, like. And then another time, funny story, I was in the paddock. It was for the Newcastle game. Remember the one where Suarez chested the ball down, rounded Tim Krul and equalised to make it 1-1. I was in the paddock for that game as well. And I remember walking over with my mate at the time with the tickets. So you're walking up and walking towards it, and I see this pillar, and I'm like, I pity the fucker that's sitting behind that pillar. Hi. So I ended up kind of sitting half on the seat, kind of like half out onto the step. And when Suarez scored, I fell down about 3 flights because I was off balance trying to, you know, everybody celebrated. And yeah, so that was fun. But yes, I have, mate. Was I at the Barca game? No. God, I wish No, do you know what? Maybe I don't wish I was. Because that moment on the channel was huge for me and all of us. And I actually enjoyed being able to celebrate that with everybody on the channel. I got my tits out as well during that one. But yeah, of course, you would like to be in it. But I still love having that memory of being on the channel, being with you guys that night. What's your opinion on the international break? You know what? I'll be honest with you. I usually hate them, but this time it's lined up good for me because I'm going over to Leeds to watch the boxing. So we're watching Warrington versus Lara, and Katie Taylor's obviously fighting on the undercard, as is Conor Benn, and we're going over to that. So that's great. That timed well for me for once, and I'm mentally exhausted, so I could probably do with a few days break. So usually I hate them, but you know, this one kind of came at the right time for me. Craig, I'm going to head out. See you tomorrow. Transfer deadline. Have a good one. Thunder 512. Have a good one yourself, mate. Lots of love, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow. Portugal versus Ireland. I will be covering that, Kira, on That's Football. Myself and Mark Goldbridge, I think, are doing that on Wednesday. So make sure you go over and watch us on That's Football for that one. And tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, I will be here, I'd say probably sometime from 6 or 7 onwards, right through till the window closes. So, you know, strap yourselves in, because it'll be a long one tomorrow. And if anything pops up between now and then, we will, of course, keep an eye on all of our socials. The Anfield Agenda TikTok, by the way, is absolutely flying at the minute. I don't know what's going on, but it's grown really quickly. So if you're on TikTok, check out Anfield Agenda. It is just simply at Anfield Agenda. Same on Instagram, same on Twitter. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow to take us through the final hours of the transfer window. Keep an eye across all the socials. I need you guys out there gathering up as much information as you can as well. A massive thank you to Owen Evans, who of course gets his own shiny Owen Evans trophy today, for all those amazingly generous super chats. Thank you to you guys as always for giving up some of your time to come and have a chat with me. I really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button, drop a like on the video. Fingers crossed we wake up to some better news or something positive breaks over the next few hours. If anything does break, make sure you've got your notifications turned on, because you know, we'll be going live straight away. Love you guys.